So, welcome everyone to the second session of the Possibility Coaching Training. And today I want to open the space for what is actually possibility coaching and what is an emotional healing process all about. And to enter this space, I first of all want to invite us to center ourselves and ground ourselves, make our bubbles, also make our golden cubes, so that we all hold space for this research and possibility journey. And I'm red today.
Silver.
Blue.
Blue.
Blue,
Brown.
white.
Blue, purple.
Yellow.
Violet.
Thank you. Today I was researching what is actually possibility coaching, and even there exists a homepage with a lot of possibilities and distinctions, and there is already a lot of clarity. It's such a vast space, even how I perceive it. There are so many different kind of territories, and especially when we are talking about an EHP. What is an EHP, and what kind of EHPs do we have? And I had even the question: do I want to propose to use the word EHP just in a specific way and not in this, as every session is a EHP, and or do we want to come up also with different kind of other namings, or namings with more clarity what it is. And I want to show you what I came up with, just to give you the map where I was diving. What is it all about? And just a brief overview. It's chaos.
Wow.
It's chaos, and at the same time, it's like abundance, and everything is interlinked. And I thought, like, wow, how can we also on this journey, the next weeks, bring clarity somehow in these inner distinctions? Like, okay, but what is it all about? What is it all about? Why it needs to start with a mental body, or why we need to start with the physical body and the emotional body and energetics, and why it leads then to the archetypal, and how is it all interlinked, and also to dive into these different kind of territories. And I found that there are different territories, different entry points, and I want to collect your findings also from the first 3 cells. What is it where you are at your edge? Where are the territories you are already you already started to embody, but also where do you need to have like the next step, and where you are stuck? What are the territories you're not so much going into yourself, in your inner structure, and where do you need to dive more into your inner structure, so that you also kind of attract different kind of clients, because they are also matching your inner structure. What you can give them is also mirrored in your inner structure, what you can hold. And I want to discover, or like want to bring also the distinction is like when we are kind of the reference point, when we are the kind of the deepest or the most the space, like when we are the space through the bright principles do their work. Mainly we are the person in the space with the highest, or like the, how do I say, the highest metrics. And therefore it's like, how can we even expand into expand their way? And what I found is, like, when we are discovering our inner structure and dismantle, we are also opening the door for the clients. And this is also the same thing what we do for the client. We are dismantling and discovering the inner structure of the clients, so that we create the next doorway, that we can find out what is actually the next door, and so that they become the next space holders, and that we are not doing it just for the client, but for the next generation, and to open also this space in us, that we are not just serving one person, but much more, so that the space gets wider and we are letting actually more information through, kind of it passes already on to the next generation, we start the ripple effect, and the necessity pulls more through us when we are opening this inner structure even more, and when we know that we do that energetically, emotionally, that we are typing into this archetypal domain, so that the forces can do their job. And I want to like spread out in practice spaces, like in breakout rooms, and I want that you discover, where is my leading edge? Like, where is your leading edge with space holding, especially with the EHPs, or like with possibility coaching? I really want to make it wider, because I think a lot of you're very good and trained in diving into the emotion, guide the person into the feelings, and then integrate the emotional reactivity. And it's much more like, where do you have your leading edge, and your also your questions? How can you develop this and that even more? And I want that you as like you go in pairs, and the coach is asking you deepening questions, like your research question as a client is, where is my leading edge in space holding, and where do I feel stuck? Yeah, and the coach is asking deepening questions and is scanning what skill is missing. So what is actually, is it metrics which is missing? Is there an initiation? Is there maybe also an emotional healing process? Is there a distinction missing? Is there whatever you scan, you write down, and then you as a coach, you write down what you hear, and then afterwards you're gonna share it with the other person, with the client. Yeah. Are there any questions about that? And then of course you're shifting.
The coach, I ask deepening questions and I write down what I scan, and then I share it.
Yeah, but you can also, like, you're speaking to your client, like, first, like, where's your leading edge? You ask as a coach, where's your leading edge in space holding? And then you are in a coaching situation, and first of all, of course, like the client is sharing something. Last time we were just scanning the person and the client was not saying anything. This is a different practice.
What is leading edge exactly? Is it?
It's your learning edge. It's like where you are expanding into.
Okay, so it is the direction of where I've already evolved towards, but where is my edge in that? Okay.
Yes. It's like it could be, hey, I want to learn more about mimetic structures, and it's like I have no idea about mimetic structures, or how do I do this, and how do I approach a client with this, or I have started doing it and I have no idea if it worked, and how does it work with other people, or is there what is there, for example. Yeah, great. Okay, I'm gonna check.
And how many minutes?
Yeah, 10 minutes each.
Thank you.
Going to be a free flow of doing this, or you're going to be sending us some kind of shifting
Yeah,
moment
I'm
or
gonna send
feedback
you
or
the
whatever?
10 minutes shift.
Okay.
Yeah. Moment. My button is not working. Now. Great. So, and I will join you. Thank you. So enjoy.
There. Hello.
Hi.
Yeah, so I love this. I have an approach. Yeah, I guess I'm confused about what is anger in space holding, because if I'm clear, and if I hold the space, and if I ask questions and all these things, then maybe that's anger. And I just have this story in my mind that I should be more because because I've heard people saying these things.
Can you repeat the last
I'm actually
thing you
very
said?
I guess my leading edge is I know I feel shy or afraid to use more anger. And so I have in clarity around what people mean when they say use anger in space holding. People used to say that to me when I just began, so I'm pretty sure I've evolved since then. I don't know if somebody would still give me that feedback. Yeah, so it could be that anger is a leading edge to use more anger in space holding. Yeah, so that's a research question. And I'm actually thinking now I'll ask for feedback about that specifically in my 3-cell. Yeah. I think my leading edge is actually everything that I don't know is possible in a session. Because actually, and it's kind of rare for me to speak in this way about myself, but I'm actually very glad about how I hold space. And I know having an edge doesn't mean you're doing something wrong, but I'm usually with most things I do, I'm very self-critical and judgmental and stuff. And I'm in I'm just really happy with the connection that happens and with the results and the feedback that I get and see after. Yeah, so everything that is outside what I can see would be my edge, and I would love to discover what it is that I'm not seeing.
Thank you. And where do you feel stuck?
Where do I feel stuck? I feel stuck a little bit, the whole centering thing.
No, so Nicole,
About if to,
Nicole, use also the space that you give possibilities.
Okay.
Like she already revealed a lot what you see, and scan her and say, okay, this might be a next step, and give her possibilities what she can do.
Okay.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you.
Cool. You have 4 minutes. I'm gonna move to
you.
the next one.
Thank you.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
we're a possibility.
It's a lot of intuition and also some sense of what is possible, what is the next thing possible for us in a group. And so the challenge is really to trust this, like my fear and my anger in that, I would say. The fear of sensing, yeah, this is the next thing possible, and then also having like the courage to go for that with my anger and to because it's always, I mean, I'm inviting us to become in liquid, like to go into a liquid state all, and that somehow that takes some boldness for me, like in myself, or some risk, risk taking.
Yeah, Natalia, it's also your space. It's like you're not just listening as a coach, but give possibilities. Like use what you already heard from Marcus. I don't know if you talked before, but like use what you already heard to give him possibility. What is the next skill, tool, what you can give him as a next key? What can you see what he cannot see? Yeah. So you have 2 more minutes. I'm flying further.
Okay.
Great.
So what I see is that
da könnte ich nicht mal irgendwo ansetzen und sagen, okay, da fehlt's oder da bin ich lost.
Wie viel fragst du nach? Wenn du hast ein Thema und du gehst hin und fragst gezielt nach einem Prozess. Wenn du sagst, du gehst zu einem Training, dann höre ich da drin du gehst hin und lässt geschehen. Aber wo ist das, wo du hingehst und sagst, ich will wissen, wie das geht?
Konkret im Kontext Possibility Coaching. Ja.
Wo fragst du?
Also an der Stelle jetzt zum Beispiel frage ich, das ist auch der Grund irgendwie oder die Frage, mit der ich reinkomme, was umfasst Possibility Coaching und wo ist die Abgrenzung zu EHP? Und also wo unterscheidet sich Possibility Coaching von klassischem Coaching oder und so weiter? Also das ist für mich eine Frage und ein Forschungsfeld, auch um selber die Abgrenzung für andere machen zu können.
Great. Ich fliege weiter.
Danke, Christine.
Thank you for asking. I still have, when I'm lost, when I don't know what is going on, it's exactly that point when my control box wants to come and create this fear, and I get and suddenly I get confused and I lose the space somehow. Because I'm get centered on myself. I put the attention on myself. because I put attention on myself, as if the answer or the thing will come from myself. So there's something about like putting all the attention. So and it creates confusion in this space with my confusion and about putting this pressure. I'm my control box is
Martin,
using
you're space holding, right? Yeah.
Machine.
Johanna,
Yeah.
Martin, you are space holding, and the exercise is already over since half a minute. You did not tell Johanna, like, round up, like, hold the space. You're the coach, so hey, round up. You have 1 more minute, and you already needed to shift 1 minute ago. So
Thank you.
yeah,
Okay, so
start shifting. Thank you, Johanna.
Thank you. Martin, where is your leading edge in possibility coaching?
like one edge is this. I think there is a part which says like I don't have enough experience, or like I like it feels like there is so much yet to experience by holding a space for others and saying no, saying yes for holding a space and actually learning. So one edge is actually to really allow myself to dive and hold a space for others. It's also connected with this, which is lately shifting, but it's like trusting myself that actually I can, like, it's not about me, it's about a bright principle, but and so trusting myself that I can relax enough so it can create a space, it can happen in the space. Okay. So this is edge which is moving.
Yeah. Yes, great, Johanna. And you give already like possibilities, scan what could be the next skill, what you perceive, and then it's kind of an ongoing conversation. And the next question would be, where are you stuck, or like harvest enough so that you give possibilities. And I think you had already 2 or 3 doorways he gave you.
Yes, my first impulse is
the line is
about how you can move.
Can you please repeat?
Yeah.
What do you want to share?
No.
Okay. Yeah. Do you have clarity about how to go to your edge? And you're talking about not having enough experience and not trusting yourself enough. What do you need to be with that experience?
Okay, my one possibility is actually to commit, for example, for holding 1 EHP for a week, like to have actually ongoing experiments and learning field, so I can discover where is my edge.
Will you do it, or do you commit to that?
Yes.
Great. And another door he gave you is like this fear of having not enough experience. This could be probably a doorway for next EHP. And you can tell him this, like this is probably a next doorway. So he knows his X. And then from that, you can give him experiments or like what he just said.
Yeah.
Yeah, great. I'm flying to the next.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Move on, and even there, I'm super cautious. I'm about double checking. Okay, can I say this? How can I be authentic? And yeah, and the way the other person is reacting, I make up this story like, okay, this was too much, or what is this actually about? Then I start questioning the whole situation. Like, what works for me is when I can be fully myself and go in authentic relationship. But as soon as I'm starting to censor myself in a way that I think, okay, I cannot speak in this way to the person, or I need to be more, I don't know, sensitive, or as soon as I start thinking about it, I lose track somehow. That's what I observe.
I mean, for me, like from the very beginning, like when you were starting to say about this, like about your edge being with strangers in a relationship, or being too much polite or too careful saying things. I mean, I say this. I mean, this is for me like the way to kind of initiation to be who you are, because I mean,
Yeah, Monica, and give her distinctions. Like what does she miss? What does she miss?
yes, I mean,
Exactly. Yeah.
Yes, because for me, like being with you in the relationship as a stranger, it's like very value if you tell me your truth instead of being polite, because I because I appreciate like your value of being, you know, like the eldest, like the, you know, like the wisdom speaker, like the telling a wisdom, and for me this is the way to be in a relationship.
Yeah, and what is in the way when you heard Habet? What is in the way of exactly doing this? Like actually getting out of her own way. What I hear Habet is that there is a concept that you would need to do this thing. Like that there is a construct that you need to be polite, or you are too rude or something. There's a kind of a construct in the way that actually people are coming for to get real. They want to get real. And if you are holding back, if you're bullshitting them, then they are not able to get real. And so there is something in the way of that. I would say it's a construct. It's a mimetic construct. What is in the way?
Thank you. Okay, great.
Yeah. If I was talking about this example now that I was coaching Monica, and like my impulse was to interrupt you in all of the three things you were talking about. I had in mind that there's only 10 minutes, and you had the tendency to describe it a lot, and that you would miss out on my coaching. And then at the end, you said something that you're afraid about the coaching, or afraid about what I'm going to say. And that made me say, oh, okay, that's why she's talking so much. That's why she's taking up all the time. So I won't actually say anything. And then at the end, I asked you if that's okay for you, because I had not much time to tell you something. And then you said yes. And then I have this feeling of, okay, it's actually not about me. It's not about me wanting to tell you something. It's about you wanting to get coaching or not.
Yes. Yeah.
And then I hold back. But I would, like me, Habet, like if you say now be yourself, I would like to tell you.
Yes, and this is exactly what I needed. And this was when I was waiting for.
Okay.
And this is exactly what I was waiting for, you know? And this is, yes, and we met in the middle somehow.
If she would not be afraid, it would not be real, Habet.
Okay.
And when she said, I'm afraid, it's like, yes, great. This is how it works. If you're not afraid, you're dead. You're numbing yourself and you are not alive. So actually, when she feels afraid, you can actually, even it's an emotion, or you see her in her adult presence where you can move through the box into her being and deliver the message.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great.
Wow.
Oh, we are seeing us
Very
in the other room.
It's
Yes.
cool. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Habet.
Thank you, Monica.
Thank you, Walter.
Welcome.
Great. Everyone is back. Yes. Let's take a deep breath. Arrive here in the space. How did it work? What did you find out? What are there more questions? Put them in the center, and the space is open.
I super
Yeah,
enjoyed.
I'm very curious. I'm very curious to discover what possibility coaching is. I just have this vague, it sounds nice thing about it, and I don't have so much distinction about what it really is. And I had a live experience of it, I think now, because Christina came into our room. I was with Nicole, and she said, Nicole, Naomi has been revealing a lot of things and you can give her possibilities. And I was like, oh yeah, that's actually, it would be really nice. I kind of want to learn something right now. And I was like, not completely aware of it. And at that moment, I became aware that it would be really nice to receive possibilities. So maybe that was an experience of possibility coaching. So I'm really looking forward to keep being in this training.
Right, thank you. Nicole, you were starting to say something.
Yeah, I feel joy because I noticed while Naomi and I were going, like, sharing back and forth, that it started to become almost as if we were both holding space as the coach and the client at the same time. And I felt so many things like relax in me about discovering that I'm not alone in having different places of being stuck and challenges. And I got so much clarity hearing about where Naomi's edge is and where she's stuck, because there's so much about it that was similar for me. And just the value of having these kinds of conversations ongoingly with other space holders, so that more clarity can even be happening. And there was something also about the distinction between when an emotional healing process is happening and when possibility coaching is happening, and we haven't found the emotion doorway yet. And this is my edge, is like, partly is about accepting that nothing's going wrong if we haven't found a doorway yet, and if it's not turning into an emotional healing process, if it's just about distinctions coming into the mental body, and then learning to use my anger in order to not just hold the space, but be in the space as part of the space, to fill the space more often.
Yeah, thank you, Nicole, for saying this, because actually this is so often at the beginning of, like, when clients are just starting, they need distinctions. They need the distinctions that they actually can start to feel one day. And they need the space inside of their mental construct to get enough matrix so that their system and also their nervous system slows down enough so that they can do the next step. And even when someone is very evolved, there's always this leading edge where actually more distinctions and clarity is needed so that the next step gets really opened up and get clear in front of their eyes. It's like really painting the picture in front of their eyes. And it doesn't matter if it's a kind of a newbie or someone who has already more experience. And what I thought very often with people who have already the distinctions, they were in ETB and labs, and I thought they already have it. It's always different when you land again the distinction, because you are landing in a new matrix. You are landing them on a different level, and they get something different. Even my box would say, it makes no sense to say the box, for example, the box distinction again. It would not make sense. This person already knows it. That's just your box tricking you. So say it. If it's necessary in the space, say the next distinction. And then go from there. It's like, it's really, for me, it's this one step after the other, so that the stair can be built up. It's like the next plateau, the next distinction is the next plateau. And sometimes it needs kind of the, it's a step. In a stair, it's steps, right? Yeah. So it needs some steps so that the next door for an emotional healing process or an initiation process is even possible. And exactly, this is also the what I want to open the door to, that it's not always about an emotional healing process. In possibility coaching, there is a lot about giving distinctions and going into mimetic constructs, or finding out inner technologies which are emotional. Yes, there's always feelings involved and or emotions. And the approach, it's not just like hunting kind of the doorway to the emotion and dive into, and then kind of track back in time into the space where it happened. But it can be also going into the mental construct, like the mimetic construct, and then from there looking at from different kind of angles, and of course the emotion is also there and drives the process further. But yeah, we're gonna practice this. We're gonna practice this because we have all mimetic constructs, so we can fail forward in this practice, having no idea how it works, and we do it anyway, and we fail graciously in front of us. And we are in the leading edge. It's
Yay.
like, yay. And today I did another mimetic construct process with a woman, and it was so different than the others before I did. And mainly it's like a part of a process, of an emotional healing process. It's a part of it. And there we just dived into this mimetic construct, which was already seen before in another process. And I learned that yeah, I will share what I learned in the next practice space about that.
I want to catch up a necessity that I just heard, and it is with I came up with a different metaphor for what you were just saying with the steps, and the kind of like the necessity is it to, what I heard is like to rename the distinctions or to re-land them like again and again. And what I saw was more like, imagine you would walk in the snow, and if you like, you'd come back the day later, maybe there's snow again on where your last step was. So that you really landing the distinctions kind of means more to actually imprint more and more the step that where you are right now, and that it's not a lost repetition kind of to rename this like every time you see it's needed.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you for this metaphor. It's a deepening. It's a deepening in this. Yeah, it's like to get it even deeper in ourselves on a different level. Yeah. Thank you. Any other findings? Maren, Mage Maren, what did you find?
It's interesting if you say about the deepening, if you make the imprint, we made to water the plants as a session to make imprints for the ETB maps again and again, and it was interesting really to name it to water the plants, only to add it to that.
Yeah.
I discovered in our space two things. The first is that it is like if there is an opening question, it's like getting blind in a new space. And if you watch this in the space with other senses, then you see something more. If you stand every time in front of the door about the same question, then you couldn't find another way. So you stand every time at the same door. And if you make this opening question and getting blind at first, while you are speaking, then you find new things, and then you're happy about every distinction you will hear in the situation, and it's made like a new building again. So it's.
And Maren, what do you mean? Do you mean like the deepening or the opening question? The question I gave you, or another one? In general.
In general, so in the situation, it has been in different times. If you have a question which really opens, it's like it's a question who first don't say accept a meme, which I have in my mind. If the other person asks me a question, an opening question, it's that it doesn't accept my meme I have in my mind and ask, what are you really want to say? And then it comes something new, because then I build up while I speak, and that's something different than before I had in my mind or my habit.
Yeah. So yeah, so you're bypassing your box.
Yes.
Okay. Great.
Are you talking about speaking from the unknown, Maren?
For me, it's another feeling from the speaking from the unknown. It's a speaking from it's a special space in myself. I have, which I think with. It's not my mental body. It's to think with my senses. And if I find this space, it's like the space where I make just create art. For example, if I stay in front of a picture and I start to paint and I don't know what to paint, but that's something different as speaking from the unknown. I think for me it's another sense.
I would say it's a special territory in your unknown. This is how I perceive it, because it's still from the unknown. You go with the fear. You tap into I don't know, but not in the mental I don't know, which is blocking. But you let it work, and then you are doing your art. Great. And do I understand it right that you ask a question? No, you let the person ask you a question and then you ask something back.
No, we made it. No, I as a client asked my question. Yes. So at first that the client could say, the possibilitator could say, and started the question again. And while the space has been opened, that I spoke, then there has been also the opening before. And afterwards, the question is
What do you mean by, Maren, what do you mean by this opening? This is interesting.
It is like it's the getting into a connection.
Okay.
It's not only being alone. If I think for my own and not being alone, then something started.
Okay.
I couldn't explain it better.
Thank you.
It's really like speaking from the unknown at the moment.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't feel like a mage at the moment.
Thank you for doing it anyway. We are all in the discovery. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Who's next? Who discovered something else?
Yeah, I discovered that something that is holding me back is the depth of the space. When I feel that my client is not willing or able or ready to receive more, then it's holding me back. Then I start getting into my mind and I think like, okay, I cannot say this, or it would be offensive, or the client will block it. Like I get very cautious. And what I got now from the feedback or the possibilities, or no, before that, I realized, Christina, you came in and the space shifted for me, because like in a way it become more dimensional somehow with the third person, of course. And I could feel that I could speak deeper into the space. And then I got this coaching from you, Christina, that I can speak through the box of the being, like through the box to the being of the person. And I'm still struggling with that because I find it somehow invasive. I know how I react to that when people do that. And I have this story that I don't know what's the story. I think it's somehow weird, but I will say it. It's something like karmic, that I think, or I have this story that it's the other person's responsibility how much they want to get, right? Like you came in, Christina, and that's why I could say what I didn't say before. And that's why the space could hold it somehow. And you asked for the things and whatever. So you called that in. But if the other person wouldn't do that, I would feel like I'm invading the other person. And then I'm taking the responsibility. Do you understand? Because the other person has their own responsibility too. So if they don't want to go deeper, okay, I respect that. I'm like, okay, then do you get that?
Yes, totally. And I open the door. It's like we are teamwork. Like who had this situation already? With a client, you're standing there and you think they are not ready. Yes, and I don't know what kind of story. Great. What did you do? What worked? Yes. Natalia, like 5 hands. Yeah. So what did you do and what worked?
One time this was just yesterday, I felt the fear that they weren't ready, and I just slowed right down and said, I have something to say that I feel scared to tell you in case it's a lot for you, and I want to do it. Do you have resistance to hearing? And she said, no, go ahead, tell me. And then I just kind of like almost like energetically closed my eyes and said it, and then opened my eyes, and she was sitting there nodding, just saying, wow, wow, thank you. Yeah, wow. And she could see herself, more of herself.
Yeah, thank you. Any other findings, techniques?
Yes, for me, when I have that story already, like this is enough for you, or the next thing may be too big, or yeah, whatever that is, for me, like, I already know that I'm in my head, and now it's a conversation on what's the next step is going to be. So the way how I navigate through that is to center myself and go back to my fear. Go straight to the fear, and from the fear, navigate what is needed now. Anyway, in a sense, because in the fear there is no longer a conversation. I'm no longer having that conversation if I connect to my own feelings.
Can you say more about the intensity, Natalia, of the fear? Like how much percentage do you use so that this is happening, that you said there's no conversation anymore?
Like 15-20%.
Great. I think this is also a very good indicator, because 5% will not work. It's not enough.
No, then still I am.
Yeah. Yes.
I have the logic conversation
Yes.
and 5% of fear.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
So it needs a specific intensity. Like for me, it's actually 30 to 35. Like to lean, like this is for me. What worked is less is like, okay, like I can still, my brain is still jumping over.
Yeah, I think it depends how loud my brain is talking.
Yeah.
So it can get even higher.
Yes. Great. Some other findings.
I want to add something more. If I has been in my talk, I find out for myself that I get sad if I hold space. If that I see a lot of gaps and which are there, and I feel myself like not fulfilling everything I could do. And if I now hear about that the persons don't step into the possibilities which are possible because they block, or perhaps it's too much for them, then I for myself really stay there, and I have nearly 20%. It's the same in me, and I made the experience that the people, if I only stand there as a mother with a child who try to jump into the water, just stand there and wait and ask perhaps a different question, and then the person starts from a side I never accepted to a process which is nearby, which I had been done. So the person the process has an own intelligence, I would say, to
unfolding,
unfold for himself. So the person will, because I don't make the invasion to the other person, make a bigger step as before, as I would go my concept.
Yeah. Yeah,
and you do that by asking a different question, making a pause and waiting for the space to unfold.
Yeah.
Is that how it works? Okay.
I just wait which impulse will come.
From you or from the client?
From both.
Yeah, I want to add an experience also, and I don't know what I'm going to say, but it has to do with working with clients who are new to feelings work. And my fear that they won't be able to go into a feeling because I'm scanning that it's new. And then I tell them that I'm going to invite them to do it. And for example, to go into anger, and yeah, we're just going to try it, and then they try. And sometimes I ask them to go anyway, even if it feels weird. And then I'm not pushing them, but I'm asking them to try that. And then they go. And I at many moments I ask them to tell me what is going on in their body and to reconnect to their body and share something. And then sometimes they give me clues about, for example, oh, I haven't, it's not coming out. And then I find an energetic block. So I ask them to go in their edge without demanding that they manage. And that's a tricky line, because if I just ask them to try, it can be that they don't really go there. And I sense, yeah, it's really a love thing. I ask them to go there, and then I also give them distinctions. I give them distinctions, and I think the key is asking them to keep reconnecting to their body as we do this and tell me what is going on. So then they start talking about the resistance they feel, and then we explore what kind of feeling is that, or is there an energetic block, or yeah. So it's really like I take like an experiment approach to make it somehow safe and to make them experiment. Yeah.
Thank you, Naomi. Like what I figured is that, especially when it's on the kind of on the distinction level, that it's like I would need to paint a door and give them the X on the map. This is how I understood it, Habet. It was on like when you want to give them the X on the map, and then the questions are coming up, like, or like this, oh, I'm too much, or I cannot say this. This is how I get it. And when I tune into this when I have a person in front of me, I ask them and say, okay, because they are already here. They are already sitting in front of me, and they are asking for this. They are paying for getting the truth. They want this. It's not that they have no. So they are already here, needing their X on the map, and they want to get real. And this is also what I told you. And the thing is that sometimes you can paint pictures, and I'm opening 3 doors, and sometimes they don't want to go through. And then I also say, okay, I think I cannot not help you. This I also already did once. It's not so often happening, but yeah, it happens. And what I also do is then when I think, okay, I did everything what I can, I ask the person, what question can I ask you so that you give me the next key? And even they don't know what this means, this shifts the space. And then they give me the invitation. It's like when, and because sometimes you have these boxes which are so resistant that exactly your fear is telling you kind of, okay, I need to shift the game. And I also saw that you like it probably might be a mind construct also, or an EHP, like a doorway also to check why you hold back, why you're holding back, because actually they are sitting in front of you and saying, Habet, give me everything. This is why I'm paying you, right? why you should hold back. And it's not you. It's not you. It's like when you, yeah, it's actually when you are concerned, then your box is speaking, or your gremlin, like, yeah. Cool.
I have a question.
Yes.
To the space, because there are some questions that are shifting the space, and you just gave an example of that, such as, what question can I ask you? Or in my experience, when there is a blockage, for example, in the body or whatever that is, I ask if I'm guiding them and giving them possibility and it doesn't work, then I ask them directly, what has to be done for you for that block to be removed?
Yes.
And my question is, what are the questions that you have? What are the questions that you use to shift that space, and in the exact way like this question does, or maybe in completely different way? They're just those keys, like those key questions. And I have
Great.
curiosity about that.
Me too, Natalia. Thank you for giving me the next key, and we are going in breakout rooms. And we are diving exactly into this question. That's amazing. And we are asking each other this question, and then we are gathering it together, and we have a bunch of amazing, awesome questions afterwards. And if we are not, if you are not doing it because like in time, I really want to give you time for this, like 7 minutes, and we don't finish until 8:30. Then I'm opening a document, and then everyone is typing into, and then we have this amazing shift shaping spaces questions list. Great. Super. Yes. It's a yes for me too. So, so we have, I put in 15 minutes, don't be confused. You have 7 minutes each. And the question is, what are the questions what you use to shift the space and navigate the space? Which are the best questions to shift and navigate the space? Okay, have fun. Oh no.
Yeah, I took the oh no for I didn't, Chrissy, I didn't
Yeah,
play
but
the
you
button.
can.
Sorry.
Okay. How can
I cannot go back.
But I can. I'm.
Because I thought you were making a mistake, so I was like, okay, I don't take.
But on the right side, on the bottom, unten müsstest du unten.
See?
Yeah.
I am now.
Cool. Viel Spaß.
English, okay.
Yes, please. Yes.
Speak English, yes. Or and then I'm like inviting, but okay, and how exactly? Like, what would you use for it? Like, I had an example, like taking out the block, and like, like how would you do this exactly? And oops.
She's here.
Okay, she's here. Okay. And
can you repeat your last question, please?
No, I'm often like stay.
How does that make you feel?
Yes. We forgot this one. Okay.
We make question ping pong.
Great.
Ping pong, you can jump in.
Okay, great. How would I feel in your shoes?
Oh, beautiful. Where does that bring you? Where do you end up with this? What's your biggest fear?
Yeah. What would be the most dangerous thing you can imagine? What can happen?
Yeah.
And often I use what would be, especially with newbies, because they are not so used to the language and they are not blocking it instantly. I say, what would be so bad about this? Even there's not bad and good, but they are telling themselves still like, yeah, then this and that, and then they are revealing what stories they have. Or like, if this would be 100% true, what would be so bad about that? Or dangerous or crazy or...
And what's the proof to your story?
Yay. A nice one. Natalia, you are typing.
I just had one. Yeah, I'm typing. But I just had one and yeah, now it's gone. What did you say again, Javet?
What's the proof to your story?
Oh, yes, that's...
Okay, but I will stick to the rule now, and I will just write it down if I have something, so that yours don't be gone.
Yeah, so I'm hopping further.
One of the classic ones.
Enjoy.
Thank you.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, I'm saying this because, hello.
Hello.
I'm saying this because I was in the possibility team with Patricio, with the Spanish speaking possibility team. And he was coaching somebody to really find the distinction between this is a voice, this is my past, this is the here and now. Okay, you're feeling your fear in the here and now. And what is your next step in the here and now? Like, feel your fear. And what is the question that you're going to ask now? No, that was a voice. And then helping somebody to, and that really brought me into this like experiential reality thing of, he was like, he told him like, feel your body. And so asking questions that invite somebody to feel what is here and now. I mean, it's such a known thing. And like we talked about it with the imprint in the snow, I really felt like, whoa, I realized what the here and now is. I like realized it for the first time, you know.
Yeah.
Because I was saying, Christina, I asked, like, I was imagining a question of like, what is the most beautiful sound you're hearing right now? Or what does your pinky feel like? Can you describe it?
The pinky is this little
Bringing
one,
them into,
right?
yeah.
Okay.
Whatever body part, yeah.
Okay, and like a nice question, I'm like, what if you pull back your center? It's for sure like for more experienced people, but like when before there's this story, okay, they are throwing out their center somehow, and then okay, and especially when it goes to then to the end of the distinctions, the new decisions that is like, okay, what if you pull really back, pull it towards yourself, so like grab it and really get it into yourself, and from that space connect to your womb, and like how would it feel, like how does it feel, and from that space what question would emerge, like this completely, yeah, pull it, and the pull is in the question.
That would be you doing this as a coach.
Yeah.
Or that would be asking your clients, like, what if you pull?
Yeah. I'm asking them, like, what if you pull it back totally into your body? Like, bring it back, and what would happen if you bring it back? What from that space? What would you then decide? Because before, very often they decide something like, I want to do this and that. They are more in this outside still. And not here, like,
yeah, a what if question, a what if question that brings them to the here and now.
Yes.
With this decision, for example.
Yes, yeah.
And
cool.
what I think what is totally important is for shifting spaces is to change the bodies and to change the senses. Because if the people make that typical way, they stand in front of a door, they couldn't go further. And if we change the body or the sense, so if the people say, I see that everybody is doing that, and what do you hear? So to make another point of view, then the people really make another experience.
You do ping pong as well, right? So good.
No,
let's change.
We make a change within.
Yeah. Like the others also. So that's why I wrote, if you did not change, like now it would give a good time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, Maren, what questions do you use to shift and navigate the space?
If I at the a lot of times people came.
I want to know what it really is like for you right here, right now, to be in this space where you've chosen to put yourself for possibilities and transformation. And is the things that you've learned about your box and your gremlin and how they keep you from being really real, what's something that's happening right now about that? You could make yourself more radically known in this space that we've created together. How would you do that? What can you say that would do that or do?
Nicole, what about shifting into like adding to the questions, what we are now searching, a bit more joy? Kind of change the frequency, add joy into, and check new questions. Like this territory, I think it's great.
Yeah.
So what about the next territory to harvest?
Using joy.
Yeah. Like more in this, not going to the EHP, diving deep, but like,
Yeah.
how, what they would become.
Yeah. If you had it all your way to create an experiment that would take you into
Great, thank you.
brand new territory that would light you up, what would that experiment be?
Was this a question to go deeper, or was it another perspective? Yes.
It was about to actually, like, what would work then?
You mean
what would be the example?
Yes. You mean so that the space shifted?
Yes.
Yeah. So I guess if he or she thinks, okay, what if something would be other than I think now, then she or he gets on another point and has another perspective, and he has maybe more possibilities than before.
For example, if you would have money, like if you would have enough money, what would be your perspective then?
Yes, for example.
Thank you. I love it.
Okay. Yes.
Okay, great. So you have 1 more minute.
Okay.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
And sometimes, so I have a client, he if there come feelings, then he normally speaks very fast and try to get back from the feeling. And then I ask him, could you please calm down and take a deep breath, and then speak a little bit slower and feel what happened in here, or whatever I can see, how the body react. Yeah, to get the focus on the body, on the feeling, and not flow away with a story and with a fast speaking. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Let's go back to the main room.
That already happened.
Hello.
Hello, Christine. We do a brainstorming because we are inspiring our. Oh,
Yes.
okay.
You
were
were
already in the main room.
You were in the main room, Monica.
We were.
Yeah. So. Okay. Let's take all a big breath.
I'm gonna go. I look
Yeah,
forward to seeing you in
just-
the documents in the Telegram.
Yes.
Bye,
I will.
Nicole, and thank
Yes.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, Nicole.
Bye, Nicole.
Yeah. For now, for the next minutes, I just want to have like the 3 or 4 highlights with like, oh yes, this is such an amazing question. I never thought about it. These kind of questions. And the rest, which is also awesome, but maybe you already know it, we put all in the documents. I will create the document just after the session, and then you can just copy paste it. Great.
Yeah, Monica shared one. It's, if you would own your own voice, what would you say? Or same version, different. If you would own your own power, what would you do?
Great.
Cool.
I have a one
Matt.
here written. And what is the story you are not telling me right now?
Ooh. Maren said to use the senses in a way that is not logical. Like, how does it smell that the other person grabs you? Because then the gremlin can't react as fast.
Yay. Thank you, Mage Maren.
Yes.
Just
Can you repeat again, please? I didn't get it.
To
That's the
use the
smell.
senses, smelling, hearing, in an unlogic way, as in mix them up and ask, how does it smell that this happened?
Yes, this is.
That's amazing.
Yes.
Maren and I also really agreed that we dislike the question, what can I do for you? At least in an emotional healing process. And we had fun agreeing on this. And we had questions we like to use is just saying this space is for you and waiting, or asking what's going on for you, or what was the one you said, Maren? Just saying, so we sit here together, and acknowledging that that's the way it is. We had a lot of questions that bring to the now, like, what are you feeling now when you ask this question? And saying, so we sit here together is also bringing to the now.
Yeah, Naomi, any
Yes.
highlight? Like just
Those were
grab
highlights.
all
for
our
me.
highlights, yes, but like grab one of them, and thank you for sharing the bunch. Great.
I have to share one highlight. In the question Nicole had was, she was first referring to, there's a lot that you learned about your box, your being, and your gremlin. What is it that you're experiencing in that right now?
I
We
have one
went-
question.
Did it.
So
Can
go.
you do it again?
Yes. So I'm suspicious that you already learned a lot about your box and your gremlin and your being. And what is it right now? What is something right now that you're experiencing about them?
About them. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Habet.
Yeah, we went more for the cracking questions, the questions, like, do you have enough of it? Are you satisfied that? When will you hit bottom?
How comes? Who decides? That's also from our. Habet said, what is the proof to your story? And the last one, is this what you want?
You are really in ecstasy.
That's what we do with our client.
Okay.
Back him open.
Okay.
Question from Johanna. What I am not willing to see, and if I would see it, it will change everything.
Naomi said, where do you feel it in your body? And what is the most beautiful sound right now?
What I always use to twist something is like, what's the benefit of it? Somebody's totally in a victim story, totally caught up in that story. That puts them back into the seat.
Yeah. Cool. Okay, thank you. Thank you. And I will open the document and I want to invite everyone saying one word. Use your sword of clarity, what you take out of this. What quality of this session you take home. One word.
Daring.
Forwardness.
Distinction.
Trust.
High level fun.
Curiosity.
How is Vielfalt in English?
Diversity.
Diversity.
Diversity, yes.
Possibilities.
Funding.
Teamwork. Thank you.
Thank you.
I feel glad. Yay. See you next week. Also again at 7.
And
Okay.
you create a document we could write in?
Yes. I'm gonna send you the link and you will have it in 7 minutes. Okay. Okay. See you.
Thank you.
So,
Bye.
Next week.
Oh.
Bye.
Bye.